Hello, and welcome to rightorwrong.com and alanwright.tv. My name is Alan Wright, and I want to welcome you to a very special project that I'm doing here on this website. And I want to start with talking to you about a concept called true lies. You and I have been lied to systematically for a long time with important issues that has raised about our quality of life. Now, this may be surprising to you, it may not be, but the details perhaps will be. Most people are slightly ignorant of the details of what this concept belies. I'm going to start by talking about a little book that I wrote in 2006 called Success Guaranteed. Of course, 2006 was right before the big economic collapse we had in 2007 and 8. And I wrote about that in here. I said America was bankrupt at the time. Of course, people thought I was crazy because we looked at most people like it was a big boom. People were all buying houses and spending lots of money and going to intense debt. At the time, they didn't realize that that debt was what the whole thing was about. Transfer of wealth from the many to the few. Giant Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, if you will. I want to talk to you a little bit about that today and what you can do about it and how you can help your family in your life do better. First, I want you to understand the concept of true lies. So that's what this introduction primarily will be. It should last about 12 minutes, so I hope I can hold your attention that long. I'm a former teacher and coach, as I said, but I've held a lot of positions. I'm a veteran. He even was a Boy Scout, so I'm very pro-American, but I believe that part of a real patriotism is honest, objective critique in the sense of trying to get better and stronger, not a unwavering, yay, isn't everything great and aren't we wonderful type of belief. Well, I want to talk to you first about this little globe, this little floating planetary home of ours. And it's important to me to say that it represents to me the natural world, which is what I believe in and what my life experiences taught me is where to look for reality. Now, I'm going to talk about true lies relative to four things, four types of lies that have been broadcast to you and I throughout our life in a form of propaganda. And one of those is religion. This didn't come with religion. It was all added by humans afterwards in power struggles. It didn't come with government. There weren't all these little demarcations of countries. That came later in power struggles. Protection rackets, religious protection rackets, government protection rackets, whether it was king, queens, popes, ayatollahs, or bishops, or priests, or whatever. The point of it is religious and government didn't come with this globe. Corporations certainly didn't. Corporations are truly legal fictions. They didn't even exist. They still don't. But of course our government says they're people. So without religion and governments and corporations, that leaves the media. Liars. All. The formal media is designed for one purpose and one purpose only. And that is to inform your opinion the way they want it informed. Who owns and controls the media? That becomes a very important problem. Now you got to understand that in today's world, roughly six corporations control all the media in roughly the world. And certainly in the United States. And that includes textbooks and magazines and television and the movies and just about every source of information you get, including your cell phones. This little guy didn't come with that. All of that was created in the sense of a true lie. I'm going to give you a formal definition of a true lie. Let's start with what an oxymoron is. It's a Greek word, oxymoron. Oxy meaning sharp, moron meaning dull. Oxymoron, sharp, dull, you can't be both at the same time. Thus oxymoron. Well, true lie is an oxymoron. Essentially, how can it be true and a lie at the same time. Well, it is a lie that you believe to be true. You base your life on it. You go through life believing it. You do things because of it. And it was told to you, or to those that told it to you, as a means of getting you to act in a certain way. So you're acting in a certain way based on a lie that you believe to be true. God is a true lie. Kings, queens, elected officials are a true lies. Corporations, I just said, is a legal fiction. It's a true lie. They're out there. You work with them. You buy things from them. They're a true lie. Created by lawyers, dirty, stinking little lawyers and dirty, stinking little offices to protect dirty, stinking little corporate CEOs building not things hardly anymore, but buying up stuff, transferring wealth. I'll talk to you more about how they do that later in another one of my videos. But the idea right now is that you're living a lie that you believe to be true. Because since you were a little child, you've been taught lies. I was a teacher. I taught science, I taught social studies, I was a coach. And as I said, I was a veteran. I worked in the prison system for many years. I went to the very peak of my profession at the national level. So I'm talking to you from a lot of experience. I'm 70 years old, and I'm talking to you about a Ponzi scheme that we call the United States. One rule behind every Ponzi scheme, and behind, whether it was religious or government or corporate or media inspired, is divide and conquer. That's the rule. Divide and conquer. It's how you rule over others. It's how these elite at the top of the pyramid scheme control everybody below them in a form of modern slavery. And I don't use those words loosely. This is not about race. It's not about the language you speak or the color of your skin or where you're from. This is about being rich and poor, powerful. Money's power. Protected by nuclear arms with armies behind you. But power is about people that either got it, some don't. And the strategy of the world today, and believe me, it is a strategy. They have a strategic plan. They, meaning these people right up here. And the strategic plan is all about divide and conquer. Here's how they do it. I want to talk about this larger pyramid first because I want to talk about 7.5 billion people. Now, half of these people in the world today, these represented by black here, most people don't understand that most of the mass, most of the geometry of a pyramid lies in the base. This half of all the people in the world are put in black here to symbolize their terrible, terrible living circumstances based on quality of life. Half the people. They basically live on less than $2 a day. They're basically barely trying to get by, and they're swimming for their lives. And most of them are doing pretty poorly. The ones in red are still in the danger area, and that's another 40%. So yes, that's 90% of all the people in the world. And yes, that's the other 10%. Red is for in trouble. These people make from $2 to $20 per day around the world, the equivalent, in terms of the quality of life, in terms of having a roof over your head, plenty to eat, and trying to raise a family. These people are in danger. This area is creeping up, the black area is creeping up, this is creeping down. These top 10% are doing pretty well, and yes, they're mostly white. This 5% right here are most of you. Most of us here in the United States, this is our kind of middle class thing. Well, this is creeping up into here, and this privileged class in the blue, this is kind of your blue bloods. These are our professional people. These are the people out there making over 100, 200, 300, 400,000 a year. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, CEOs, things like that. These people are doing pretty well. These mom and pop businesses, these small corporations, these people out there just trying to make a living and doing pretty well, the middle class. You probably don't even believe these things I'm saying because you basically want to be ignorant of it all because you say, well, what can I do about it? And you don't really want to know how bad life is for all these others. The top golden part, this is the 1%. It's really less than 1%. And the truly elite are at the top 1% of the 1%. It's very, very hard for you to believe that these people right here own and control over 90% of all the wealth in the world that goes towards the quality of life. They don't really care about your cell phones. They don't really care about your golf clubs. We're talking about the wealth of the world, which matters relative to making a living and having a good life with your family. They own and control it. All of these people here own very, very little of it. Only these people own stock. Nobody else owns any stock in stock market. No bonds. These people own almost all of it. I've talked now for almost 12 minutes. And like I said, this is an introduction. I just want you to know, I know a lot about what's going on in the world. I've been studying it for a lot of years. And I'm going to talk about it from these 4 perspectives of this true lie that's holding us in modern slavery. Maybe you think modern slavery is too strong a term since you basically can choose where you eat and what you eat, and you can choose your vocation and blah, 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 to some degree at least. And you think because you go out and vote that you're free or that you live in a representative democracy, and you don't. Democracy is another one of those true lies. It just simply doesn't exist. And I can prove it to you, and I will. If you look further on this website, I'll talk a whole lot more about these concepts. This timer here is trying to keep me honest. Well, that's a very brief introduction. I take all this very strongly. I can prove everything I say, and I hope you'll spend more time with me here on this website. If you have any questions at all, contact me. I have contact information up on the website navigation area, and I would like to talk with you. Remember that things just aren't as they seem to be. Most people that have been propagandized since birth don't know they've been propagandized. Who, me? You have been propagandized severely with true lies. You can make your life better and the life of your family better when you come to understand that. And you can also go up to the top part of my website where I talk about the right conspiracy if you'd like, and you can learn more about the solution. This is the problem. In True Lies I talk about the problem. Under Right Conspiracy I talk about a honest, ethical, legal way you can do something about it for you, for your family. Now, I've been a strategic planner at every level of almost anything people do on this planet. I have strategic plans everywhere. I know how to do strategic planning, and I can help you. I don't charge anything for this, by the way. I'm not selling you anything. If you want my help, spend some time with me on my website. Give me the opportunity to convince you. Let's try to make this a little bit better place for human beings and other animals and plant life that we're killing off to do better. Let's get rid of the true lies. Let's try truth for a change. Alan Wright, Alan Wright TV, rightorwrong.com. Come back and see me.